Yo, what's going on?
Yo, what's up everyone? Welcome back into More Dots Gaming. It's Riven here. So today, we'll talk about something with Final Fantasy XIV, something that I actually really enjoy and I would love to see some changes to it, is the Fate system. I'm going to bring in other games to talk about, just to kind of like give you a synopsis of what we can do to make the system a little bit better, because I feel like it's lacking at endgame. And even as you're leveling, I feel like there could be more things to it. That's kind of like just throw it out there and just make it a better system overall. I feel like it's just a missed content that people aren't doing because it's really not that lucrative or rewarding to do. It's just kind of there. So let's jump right into this and talk about Final Fantasy XIV Fate. So let's take a look at this. So Final Fantasy XIV Fate, you can get these at whenever. So pretty much at level 5, you walk out into whatever zone you are in level 5 zone, whether you're in Thanlin or Limsa or Gridania, any of those areas, you can go ahead and take a look at and walk out to the main starting zones. And after you do a few of the basic quests, you then open up the Fate system, and the Fate system is pretty cool. There'd be these little like blue symbols on the map that have like a monster look face on them, or maybe exclamation point, whatever they might be, whether they are escorting or collecting items and giving back to X person. And you get, once you beat it, you get reward. And the reward is usually gil and experience, sometimes maybe an item that's really not useful. So from a leveling standpoint, it's pretty cool, because especially in a new area, you have a bunch of people that are, you know, kind of doing it because it's just there as they're leveling, doing whatever they have to do, whatever, you know, traversing to wherever they go, see a quest, see other people might doing it. They stop, jump in, and beat up the said boss or the 20 or 30 enemies they need to kill to fill up the bar and win the quest and the fate and get their experience and move on. You don't have to stay for the fate. You could just kind of sit there and smack things a few times, get a few kills, and then run off and let everyone else kind of finish the fate, which kind of gives you like minimal participation. And the more you participate, the better experience and the better gil you can get. So it's really, but it's not kind of like promoted that way. It's just like, hey, do X, Y, and Z. So you can stay and kill 2 enemies and then leave and get the minor experience to kind of give that little boost as you're doing whatever else you're doing. So that's cool, I guess, in a certain aspect. Kind of removes participation a little bit, especially moving pretty quick. So now, I'm looking to hopefully take the Fate system and just kind of compare it to one game. I know many are probably going to disagree with me here, but if you take a look at World of Warcraft, they kind of borrowed the Fate system from Final Fantasy XIV by making world quests back in Legion. The Legion world quests were pretty interesting. You open those up at max level, and once you hit max level, you could get items, gear, reputation, and a few other different things from the thing, from those world quests, which was neat. Now, I don't want Final Fantasy XIV to fully take and copy and paste this whole system, because it had its issues. And the biggest issue was the whole gear issue. Was every time you went up in the gear eye level, those world quests then went up with your eye level, so they scaled to your eye level, and next thing you know, you're getting crazy items that were better than some type of mythic gear, mythic plus gear. So it was a little weird, and I don't want World of Warcraft to go that route. I don't want Final Fantasy XIV to go that route. I would like Final Fantasy XIV to kind of like take that and make it their own. I would like to see some type of gear drop from the Fate system, something in regards to like okay, you have a normal crafted gear, high quality crafted gear, like right in the middle, that where normal quality gear is it's not going to dampen the normal quality and the amount of time that people put into craft specific gear. So you want like somewhere in like right next to normal quality, but in between high quality and still below dungeon gear. There should be nothing. You should not be getting Fate gear and have it be better than dungeon gear. I don't agree with that completely, because dungeon gear is supposed to be harder than Fate's. Fate's you can knock out in like 10 seconds. But I think it should be a nice little boost, like a nice little, this is a nice little upgrade for me. I'm wearing normal crafted gear right now, and I know, and I don't upgrade my gear every 5 level, but this is a Fate, and it will give me an upgrade until I can get to the next dungeon. So something just kind of like push you ahead, but nothing where it's going to break the gear system, because I think the gear system right now in Final Fantasy XIV is not bad. I think there's a lot of gear lust, which is great. Something you don't see in many MMOs anymore, because everything's just handed to everybody. Final Fantasy XIV makes you work for. I don't want Fate fates to hand you gear, but I want it to be like, it's an option for, hey, you know what, that's actually not a bad upgrade. It's a little bit better than normal high quality wearing. It's got +6 more strength or +4 more skill speed. It seems negligible, but it's actually not bad, so I'm going to upgrade to it. Just something that, you know, and it should have its own loot table. It shouldn't be loots that from, you know, that's possibly that you could get from dungeon drops, something like that. It should have its own little loot table that can pull from there, and you get, and has X amount of pieces of gear in each zone. Also, from the World of Warcraft World Quest, there was reputation. Now, I don't want Fate to turn into a reputation grind on Final Fantasy XIV. I think that would be silly and just totally ridiculous. It's something I don't want to see. I would like to see, though, that if there's progressional fates, so you start with part 1, which is, you know, you kill XYZ, and then you go to part 2, maybe collect certain things to power up, you know, to get stronger and whatnot. And then you move on to part 3, which is the big boss fight. I know back in the Realm Reborn, maybe in some Heaven's Word, there were some fights like there were some fates like this. I haven't seen any more really that are like this. So this is really neat. I would really like to see this again. But this time, when you're in a specific zone, so let's say we're in Pixie World and Shadowbringers, and you're fighting all these fates that are progressional. At the end of the last fate, you get you know, some reputation. I know when you turn a Pixie Beast Tribe, you get about 60 reputation. So maybe increase it by you know, 20 and get 80 instead of 60. I think this fate should be like on a 12-hour rotation, so you can't spam reputation. So you can't be sitting there just waiting for it to pop every 5 minutes and just get your reputation grind done and, you know, whatever. Or make it a daily fate. Make it a fate that only pops up. Once you do it, that's the only reward you can get from it. So something like that, where you can actually do different type of grind for reputation, add a different reputation to it, and also the tokens from Beast Tribes. So I would love to see like Beast Tribe tokens from dropping from fates. So, you know, you can grind out and you get what, 6 or what, 1 or 2 or a few from the Beast Tribes. So you make it give you 3 from doing a fate, or maybe 5 from doing the fates. And again, that's a daily fate. You can only do it once a day. Once you get the reward's done. You can't get anything from it again. You can redo it as many times as you want, but you're not gonna get any more rewards from it. I think that would be a great way to just kind of add to like the whole reputation gain. And as you're doing the quest, you know what is a specific time that it pops up, and it does it, and you can do it, or have it pop up, you know, maybe every 30 minutes throughout the day. And then since it's a daily fate, you can't gain anything from it again, and it locks you out from getting rewards and just grinding out that rep that way. I think that the Beast Tribe system they have in place is pretty neat. It's better than most of the other reputation systems that I've played in MMOs. It's pretty straightforward, especially if you hit like level 70 or 71 in Shadowbringers and you go to the Pixie Land. Ridiculous amount of experience, 2 million experience, or well, the experience scheduled level, so it was like 1.6 million experience I was getting for Beast Tribe turns, but these are like 5 minutes worth of work. So just do those. Anyway, I digress. So yes, I would like to see some type of fate system like that where it's progressional. It ties into the Beast Tribe storyline and lets you do fates that way. It gives you reputation, gives you tokens for that specific Beast Tribe. So I think that'd be great. I think also it should drop some crafting materials, like, you know, whether it be ore or plants or food or whatever it might be. So, you know, you can get, and it doesn't have to be a lot. It can be nice, abundant, maybe like, you know, 10, 15 items that it dropped from. It's like, oh, hey, it's a nice level. I needed that, or I needed some of these crystals, things like that. You just like get from it. I know it drops some certain things, but usually it's just very minuscule and really not really worthwhile doing. So just trying to find other ways to kind of make the fate system rewarding, because right now it's just kind of just there, and once you hit max level with the fate system, it really doesn't do much for anyone. They added some changes to it in the Shadowbringers expansion, where you can collect tricolor gems. You get 12 of them each time you finish a fate. You can then go turn these in for, you know, different type of riding maps, which allow you to run your map, which allow your mount to run faster inside specific zones, which in all honesty, I don't feel it's anything worth needing, because as you're leveling in Shadowbringers, if you're brand new to Shadowbringers expansion, if you played Heaven's Word and Stormblood, you know there's going to be Aether Currents, and there's going to be specific quests you need to do to unlock Aether Currents. So as long as you're running your quest and finding the 80th occurrence with your compass, or using a map to online to find your 80th occurrence, and then doing the quest as your quest, doing all the other quests, you're gonna have flying each zone within like under an hour. It's really not a lot of work. It's not even out of your way because you're doing it as you're leveling. So I don't really find the maps to really be necessary to do all that grind work, because it will actually take you quicker to get the flying than it would to actually get your fate system map writing. So I never really agree with the whole map writing thing. It was kind of silly and pointless in my opinion. So I just want to see better rewards from the fate system, whether it be some type of gear that you get, then reputation tokens so you can buy your items you want, and some type of crafting mats. I think that'd be a great way to kind of improve on the Final Fantasy XIV fates, because they are a fun system, and they promote open world content, which is something that's, I feel like, kind of missing from Final Fantasy XIV. Outside of like when you're doing the main storyline quests and you're just kind of going from quest to quest to quest to quest to quest. Once you hit end game, you're spamming dungeons a lot to get your gear, to get your marks. Hell, even with fate system, that's, you know, make a fate system a raid in a specific area that will drop 5 marks. Just another way to get those marks. Nothing crazy, nothing expensive. That will be like, I can spam it all day. And once you do the fate, done. It's a daily fate. You can't get any more rewards from it. I think it'd be just a different way for people to just kind of like get out in the open world, kind of like the S rank hunts. Those are great. Those are so much fun. You get marks from those. So it's another thing. So I think if they just kind of worked Fates a little bit more, and kind of already took the systems that they already have and put it into Fates, and then borrow from, you know, some other games have done, maybe Fates slightly, just a little bit differently, maybe even a little bit better with gear rewards, reputation rewards, item rewards, things like that, but never breaking the gear structure. That's something that's going to happen in Final Fantasy XIV. I don't want to go do a Fate and get a piece of gear that's better than a hard dungeon. That'd just be silly. It really should be like just an above normal quality gear. And it doesn't have to be something that drops off and it's like, you know, you're gonna go do it, and maybe there's like a 20% chance of that gear dropping, but at least you're going to do it, and gear drops for you, whether it be a weapon, or it could just be cool glamour that drops. Just something different that the people want to go after, because right now I just feel like Fates are just kind of a useless system. They're just there just to be there, and just it really helps you while you're leveling. Like, oh, I'm gonna go beat up these Fates, but if you're a healer while you're leveling, it's gonna take forever to do. And most people, I've watched it many times where you just kind of like flying, you know, you see people fly over or hover over a Fate and see if anyone else is doing it, and if no one's not, they just fly off. It's wasted content, and it's kind of silly. I feel like they could do so much with Fates, because they already have great other systems involved, with you know, S rank hunts, all the hunting is actually pretty cool, especially S rank. So it's a huge raid. Everyone just shows up, joins a full party, and smacks the heck out of things. So the same thing with the Fate. Like, it'd be a progressional Fate. You gotta be in a full party, gotta smack down everything, go through the whole progression, get up to the raid boss of the Fate, and then you get whatever type of Fate it is, whether a Beast Tribe Fate, a raid Fate. You know, maybe, I guess a Beast Tribe and Raid Fate would be the two types I would actually do. Beast Tribe for reputation, and a Raid Fate just for marks. I wouldn't even drop gear. I would just drop, like, you know, 5 or 10 marks from it. Make them both daily. You know, that's what I'm hoping to see. Those are my thoughts on Fates. For at least for battle classes. The next thing I would love to see is crafting Fates. You have crafting leads, which is great, which is a lot of fun and whatnot. So, but I would love to see. I would love to see crafting Fates kind of like the way kind of like in the way I guess battle classes happen, where certain fates pop up and you have to craft specific items. You have to craft a weapon for people who are going out to fight. You gotta craft potions for people who are hurting. You gotta craft food and give them. So just different things you can do to kind of make the crafting experience feel a little bit cooler. And you're giving to this, like, you know, this living fate, right? This fate's supposed to be a living thing that, you know, if you don't help it, you know, people are gonna die, or towns are gonna be kind of hurt, things like that. That's my thought with fates anyway. So now if you have a crafting fate, you can go ahead and be like, oh, okay, I want to craft. You have to craft 50 potions, or you have to craft this and that, and you can get, you know, whether you don't have it or not, they'll you know, you can then take it and couple it with gathering, and while you're doing the fates, you can have gatherers go around, gather, put everything into a pool, and your crafters and then craft everything. Again, this is preliminary thoughts, but just think different ways in trying to just make fates a little bit better, because it's just, I feel like they're very useless, and there's so many different ways that you can just make fates really, really cool. So hopefully we get to see something. I don't want to make this video too long. These are just my thoughts about fates. So just to recap, I would like to see raid fates. I would like to see beast tribe fates. I would like to see gathering and crafting fates kind of coupled together. You have gatherers that go out and kind of just in that fate area gather specific items and drop into a pool that then gatherers can grab and make specific things for the people who are on the front lines, you know, those silly fates where you're fighting the big bosses and whatever the NPCs are fighting. That will then be potions they can take because they're hurt, or food to kind of buff them up, or, you know, extra, you know, give them a new shield. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy. You know, you could just kind of, it would be like a fate, you know, a crafting fate system pops up that you just follow the, you know, push the certain button you need to do. But it would just be something different to do. And a different way to level crafting and gathering, because crafting and gathering can just be mind-numbing as you craft it. It's just taking two crafters at 80, and I just hit 80 on mining, and sometimes it's mind-numbingly ridiculously boring. So making things a little bit more engaged with that system, I think, would be a lot of fun. And at the end, you know, depending on what level it is and how hard it is, you get your scripts. I think there should be higher ones that will give you white scripts. There'd be a lot, like 5 or 10. And then you have other ones that will give you, like, you know, 20 yellow scripts, depending on what you need. So I think that's just a really good way to do different things. And these are all my thoughts coming out at once. I know I talk very fast. I might need to slow it down to, like, you know, 1.5 or something like that. But yes, these are all my fates for all my thoughts for fates, and whether it be fate raid system or crafting system. I think that fates just need a big overhaul, and I really want to see this. So guys, if you enjoyed this or have any thoughts about fates, please, I would love to hear your comments and have the discussion about what we can do to make the fate system better, because I think it's just really lots of missed content. The Square Enix is just not looking at a certain way, and I think if we can push these ideas and help Square Enix look at it a different way, we can get some really neat open world content. So let me know your thoughts below. I'd really love to hear what you think about Fates. Are they worth doing? Would you even think of these new systems that pop out, if they do come to light, would you do them? Would they be worth doing to you? I would love to hear your thoughts. Please leave a comment below. And if you found this video helpful, or you know, anything like that, please share it, like it, subscribe. It helps the channel, and I appreciate you all. I hope you all have an awesome day, and I will check you all out next time. Peace out, everyone.